Hello viewers, this is Raj from Joe's EL Academy, and today I'm going to discuss some strategies or certain things which can really help you in your MCQ multiple answer questions in the listening modules. I've seen that a majority of students struggle in the listening module, and most of students struggle in MCQ multiple answer questions. This question is a bit tricky one. It has internal negative marking, so for the students' confidence is already down, because they know if they get one right, one wrong, the score is 0. But you can get almost full score or complete score in this question if you follow certain strategies, right? So in this video, which is an excerpt from one of my regular online PT sessions, I've discussed a few MCQ multiple answer questions and discussed some strategies which can really help you. And even we have helped people who were struggling around 50, 55 around this score in listening module to raise this score to 80 plus and some even 90. And then you can see the evidence on my Facebook page as well. So before we proceed with the strategies and a few other things, one small thing. I'll say do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get all the updates, a notification for the next video. And I will appreciate every like and share. Thank you. So yes, a few things about MCQ multiple answer question. So first thing, in this question, which is very important, I'll say, is 7-8 seconds time. When the question starts, you have 7-8 seconds time, so I'll say utilize that time. During that time, read the question and skim through a few options, couple of options, 2 or 3. So that when you skim through the options, you get an idea in your head what the topic is. So when you know the topic, your background knowledge and everything helps you to understand the content better. The second one is when the audio is being played. When the audio is being played, do not read much. Just listen to the audio carefully, take some notes. And so yes, your listening must be undivided. And third one is you can use elimination. You can eliminate wrong answers. But I've seen elimination usually backfires. Mostly students eliminate the right answer. So if you don't follow certain strategies, especially how you listen to the audio carefully, how you take notes, or how you must also know how the text is structured, how the audios are structured in academic context. So if you know all these things, you will eliminate the wrong answers and you will pick the right answer. But if you don't follow, the chances are very high that you will eliminate the right answer. So yes, watch this video, and I'm very hopeful it will help you. Thank you. So yes, when the question starts, we have here 7 to 8 seconds time. That's crucial. Read the question, which is the chief focus of the author's argument. Quickly, advertisements and only front-end characters, some purpose of advertisements, information furnished, whatever. So when you skim through a few options, you know what is the topic. It is about something advertisement. And now if you have all background knowledge about advertisement, it will help you understand the audio. So when the audio starts, you listen to it carefully. If you start reading them with the audio, sometime you might get distracted. So your listening must be undivided. All right? So just listen to the audio carefully. Take some notes. Look what has read here. Be careful what has been asked. All right? And let's start. So don't read everything with the speaker. Never miss, even I always say, remember this word. Back to the audio. Don't miss the audio for a single second even. how the audio starts. Be careful, because that sets the tone of the sentence. Any connector, however, but, any other word, these some adverbs or any connector or any adverb. For example, moreover, however, these are adverbs. Any other connector, or any others adverbs such as so, therefore. These things connect the text, the spoken text. So use these things, understand it. That's it. You'll get it right. Yes, listen to them.
An attractive advertisement is one that sells the product well. The advertisers today are not concerned with the truth or the value of the product. Their only concern is profit making. For the buyers, a good ad should speak honestly. Attractiveness or entertainment is only secondary. Nowadays, advertisements also portray a lot of violence, which has a negative impact on the young minds. In fact, psychologists have proven that because of increasing violence shown on television, children tend to become violent. It is essential that we think with our brain and not let our emotions sway us away. As a consumer, it is your responsibility to understand the difference between inferior and superior quality. You must also understand that certain things that are advertised are of no use to you. It is not essential to buy each and every new item that is advertised. Advertising is a business, and to do well, they need to be creative. And that is the reason they come up with novel ideas each day to influence the minds of the consumers. You must notice that most of the advertisements show either children or youths. This is because they know that young minds are the easiest to influence. When you see people of your own age group use these advertised items, you too are tempted to buy them. You have to act prudently and not let these advertisements fool you.
Yes, so for this, the main idea, advertisement, main purpose is to sell a product well. Yes, to sell a product well. So now you eliminate. Eliminate means even if mostly the answers, correct answers are what? Paraphrased. All right. And so usually, the incorrect answers are plenty of time they use strong adverb. So incorrect answers use sometimes strong adjective, strong adverb. So just sometimes one word changes the whole meaning. So these are some usually incorrect answer, usually I'll say. And also be careful with numbers and exact words. Exact words. Because the purpose of examiner is not to give you exact word, but to see your understanding, not whether you understood a few words or not, the overall understanding of this audio. So that's why they paraphrase. That's the purpose of the examiner. Every question has a purpose for examiner when they test your language. So let's go through these options and yes. Advertisements are inherently fraudulent in character. Are they inherently? Inherently mean they are always inherently, it's their nature. Was it mentioned? No. The sole purpose of an advertisement is to sell the product. The advertisement purpose is to sell well. Yes. One has to sift through the information furnished and decide for self. This was what was not let you fool you. You should your brain as a consumer that you need to identify what is superior or inferior quality. You need to find out what is not useful for you or something, these things. So one has to sift through the information first and decide for self. Yes. So it is the chief focus of the author's argument. Not, because we are talking about main focus. So something that's given in the passage doesn't mean that is the answer, right? Advertisements essentially create emotive content, essentially strong adverb. Be careful with these adverbs. I told you here, be careful with strong adverbs. So no, this is not the answer. So essentially, you say sometime it's all right, sometime it's okay. Academic sort of adverb. Essentially, it's all right, but it's a very strong adverb. So one word can change the whole meaning. So advertisements essentially create emotive content? No, not essentially. They do, but not always, not essentially. Advertisements play an important role for the target audience. They may play important role for businesses, but not the target audience. So your answers are number 2 and number 3, right? You have already done these. So who has got both correct? Kumba? Me? Good, great. And Sachitra?
I picked 3 answers, like fourth one as well, because I thought like their whole purpose is to earn profit. So they essentially create, make people to buy unnecessary stuff.
Emotive, because they do use, not always, they sometimes these days, use children. That's emotive. Young people, children. So they do, but not essentially. The strong adverb, I told you, be very careful with strong adjectives and strong adverbs. They are very tricky. And also be careful with these words, such as then and comparative or superlative degree of adjectives. So those things. All right, others, you might have got it right. So can I now remove my notes?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I'll say in listening, you need to be smart. Listening score can be improved a lot, a lot. Oman Bir, he had 50 and we raised it to 90. He got 490. Listening from 50 to 90. His writing was 58 or 59 and it rose to 90. Reading was 76. It rose to 90. Speaking was already 90 and it remained at 9. It remained 90. So listening 50 to 90, and plenty of people we have got amazing score who are struggling in listening. So listening is not, you don't have any issue in listening that you can't understand. You understand everything what's in the audio. The main thing is how you convert that into your score. What strategies, what is academic listening actually? In academic listening, you need to be smart, note-taking. You need to, sometimes students start reading so many things, sometimes you just first know the purpose of examiner. Every question has a purpose for examiner. For the examiner, every question has a purpose. If you understand what actually the examiner wants to test through a question, and then you apply that strategy, show that thing, you will get a higher score. So every question has a different purpose. So the strategies, the techniques, the skills you use might be different for different questions, right? The main thing I'll say, before the audio starts, read the question carefully. You get 7-8 seconds time. So with which of the following definitely true about leaders? True about leaders. So if you can skim through a few options, all right. When the audio is being played, listen to the audio carefully, listen to the audio very carefully, and make sure you are all the time back to the audio, all right? You even don't stay away for a second from the audio. Sometimes you start reading it and you forget to listen. No. Even if you, sometimes you can have a cursory look on the answer, but still back to the audio. So that's why I say don't read these stuff. Don't read much. If you're a smart reader, you can read sometime 1 or 2 words, not continuously, but make sure this is all the time back to the audio. And the other thing, you must focus on how the sentence starts. How the sentence starts. That's very important. Very important. It tells you the meaning, sentence. Be very careful with connectors, however, but moreover, these tell you a lot about the audio. So hence, all these things, you focus on these things, listen to audio, connect it. When you focus on these things and you are all the time back to the audio, you have read the question, you will get these questions right. These questions are not difficult. If you are not listening it properly, you are reading sometime here and sometime to the audio, sometime in the answers, you are reading options, sometime to the audio, you will not get them correct. You will not get the options correct. But if you are smart in listening, if you read, 1 or 2 options, but still all the time back to the audio, not even for a second stay away from the audio, that's the main thing. Sometimes you can read, but still, you can even read them after, eliminate them. If you have listened to the audio, it's just 60, 70, 80 seconds, 60 to 90 second audio, 40, 90, not more than 1.5 minutes. So if you listen to it carefully, you take some notes, take some notes. When you take some notes, you listen everything, take some notes, you are active, you are actively listening. When you actively listen, you create meaning, you make meaning, and then you get right. That's the real listening. That's academic listening. So then you will get it right, because it's not days, it's just 1.5 minutes. You can, you have notes, you listen to it, you know what is right, what is not correct, and then you can eliminate and find it. But be very careful with this stuff as well. How a sentence starts and connectors, and all the time back to the audio, these 2 things, right? So what are your answers? Have you picked any answers here or not? What is definitely true about ladies, right? Let's listen to the audio. I'm playing this audio.
Leadership can actually mean many things to many people. The management literature on leadership is not very helpful. It tends to present leadership in a bright light. There is no darkness, but that is not the reality. We are told that leaders have a set of innate traits, or that they are authoritarian, laissez-faire, and democratic leaders. We are told that leaders diagnose the situation and take the appropriate actions, or that they can choose an appropriate style for the circumstances. We are told that leaders tend to be distant and work-oriented, or sociable and interaction-oriented. We are told there is a difference between managers and leaders. Managers essentially address the mundane task of organizational maintenance, whereas leaders initiate and promote an inspiring vision of change. We are told that there are transactional leaders who make only instrumental changes, and transformational leaders who make evolutionary ones.
Yes. Now, so they are result-oriented, which is definitely true about leaders. So according to the audio, don't pick from your knowledge what was in the audio. You need to pick your answers. So they are result-oriented leaders. Not true. We are told that they are result-oriented, but not actually. Because there is a difference between reality and perception. What we have been told, they have been presented in bright light. not reality. They are thought to be people-centric. They are thought to be, yes. They are thought to be, we are told, or they are thought to be. The real answers are usually paraphrased. In exam, usually in PT exam, or when the paper is set by a real professional, the answers, the questions are paraphrased, because that's what the purpose of the examiner, to see your real language, paraphrasing, yes. So they are thought to be people-centric. There's a difference between perception and reality. Perception means what you think about them, what you have opinion about them. Perception, reality, what they actually are. So they're presented in bright light. In reality, they are different. So yes, that's also true about leaders. There are leaders and there are leaders managers, not leader managers. They talked about managers. Managers are who do mundane tasks in an organization. And they are leaders. Leaders do what? They, bring, they cause change. They lead to changes, So not managers and leaders. There is no term used as leader manager. Eliminate it. The meaning of leadership is well defined. No. There are so many, definitions and stuff, business literature, whatever they say. No. We are told not. So the answers are 2 and 3. All right? 2 and 3. What did you pick? Can I clear my notes and stuff? Yes. Can I clear my notes?
Yes.
Sachitra and Kumba.
Yeah.
All right.
I think 2 and 5.
So if you take notes smartly, note taking is important. Is a very important skill in your academic exam, whether it's IELTS or whether it's PTE, whatever exam. Because if you smartly take notes, you are actively listening. When you actively listen, everything, yes, you are contributing. You can easily eliminate. You can only eliminate when you have the proper information. Otherwise, you eliminate most of the time the right answers if you haven't listened to it properly. So all the time, back to the audio, be careful, take some smart notes, and smart notes like the way I've taken, hopefully. It's just be careful with the answers are paraphrased. Be careful with small difference in words. For example, leader managers. They talk about leaders, they talk about managers, but not leader managers. So be careful, well defined, it's contrast actually. They're result oriented. We are told. If it would have written, we are told that they are result oriented, or they are thought to be result oriented, then it's all right. But it says they are no. If the examiner writes, they are thought to be, or we are told, you can say we are told. If you write it here, we are told that, instead of they, you write leaders are result oriented. Then you could have picked it, yes, then it's all right. But it says they are result oriented, no. Okay. Who got it right? Sachitra, what was your answer?
I actually picked 3, sir, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. So be careful with these, sometimes smaller words. So this was not. Still, you got 1 correct. That means you got 2 plus 1 minus. You get a score. And Gary, what are your answers? You're there? Kumba?
2 and 5.
2,
5.
5. Leadership is well defined. When the audio starts, should I play the audio again? You just listen to it.
This one was a selected one.
Leadership can actually mean many things to many people. The management literature on leadership is not.
Many things to many people. Many things
Perceptions.
to many people. It means it's not well defined.
Yeah.
It is well defined, so it's not well defined. And Mandeep, what's your answer, please? Turn your microphone on. All right, next. Let me play another one.